Hey, Mr. Clash here with a video about Bowitch, Town Hall 10 Bowitch and 3-starring and the bases that are more ideal for it than other bases. Now have a bit of a look at this base. The idea with Bowitch, of course, is that you come in with some bowlers and witches, come in with some bowlers and witches, and then you come in with a heap of bowlers and witches to get into the core. Now, obviously you're creating a funnel, and this is pretty standard stuff that everybody sort of goes through at some point on their progression up through Town Hall 7, 8, 9 and up to Town Hall 10, obviously. But there's something that makes this some bases more susceptible to Bowitch than other bases in terms of being a 3-star opportunity as opposed to just being a really good percentage 2-star attack. That's going to guarantee getting a 2-star, so that if you had a lower Town Hall 10, they might be able to 2-star the base. That way a higher Town Hall 10 can think about different strategies for coming in for a 3-star. And that is getting to the Inferno Towers with jump spells. So you see the 2 Inferno Towers, and we're going to get to them with jump spells. So if they're arranged, if the Infernos are arranged in such a way that that makes it a little bit difficult, you might want to think of a different strategy. But in terms of Bowitch, if they're arranged like this, if you see them arranged like this, then maybe the first thing you should be thinking of is Bowitch. So just for example's sake, now there are 4 wall breakers here, but just for example's sake, say that you had a wall breaker fail, then you can do this sort of thing. Everything can path this way and have access to this other Inferno Tower. And because bowlers do what they do, you have a good idea, double bounce, they'll be taking out all of this stuff, which is really just going to leave this flanking stuff on the outside, and that's where your circling bowlers and witches come into play. So just to reiterate that point in terms of suitable bases, a base that you can get 2 jumps through to get to the Infernos with 2 jumps in some way, shape or form. So it's a pretty simple base identification. I'm simplifying the base identification method on this attack. So we'll have a look at how this attacker does it. So we've got the witches coming down first. Now look at the timer on this. It's 1:29. So this is like a max Town Hall 10 getting wiped out in less than 90 seconds. So that's kind of insane. I don't know why I pressed on the air sweeper, but we'll just have a look at the clan castle radius, so you see when the clan castle starts to trigger. So the bowlers and the witches have gone down on each flanking side, so they're doing their little bit. Clean the funnel. Now look at the massive bowlers that are coming into this. Poison spell down for the enemy clan castle. The bowlers will rage onto the queen because they get attracted to the queen. So you've seen they've just gone pathed over a little bit to the queen side. Second jump spell goes down right over the top of that Inferno. So the bowlers will eventually get through there. Now, of course, they do their double bounce damage. So they take out the things on the side while they're pathing in and just massive wrecking. That's what you've got here. Bowlers and witches on the top, they're coming through nicely. The queen with the bowlers up there in the middle, they'll take out that archer tower. Now there's just 2 archer towers and a cannon left, but you'll have a look at this archer tower down here that I've just highlighted is shooting a golem. So that golem is now tanking for everything else, and it will just be a free kill on the archer tower. And then the queen hasn't even used a special ability. Now, yes, it is a level 40 queen, so that does need to be taken into consideration. But like I always say, only try to use max troops for max bases. So if you've just a brand new Town Hall 10 and you've got your level 30 queen, it might not work for you like this because you saw that the king did go down. The queen had lost a lot of health. So as I've mentioned previously, in terms of comparing the health of queens, where you might have lost 300 health or 400 or 500 or 600 or something like that, well, in these sorts of situations, you might have a queen, for example, and I'm just making these numbers up. One queen has health of 1500, another queen has health of 1200. If you're coming in with your 1200 queen and she sustains 1200 of damage, she's out of action. But if you had the 1500 health queen, she sustains the 1200 of damage, she's still in action. So Town Hall 10 triple using Bowitch, very simple base identification. Can I get through to the Inferno Towers with 2 jumps using the bowlers and the rage spells coming in through the middle? If I can, then it's very good candidate for this attack. Now you can see how the double bounce is wiping everything out on the sides of the base. The witches are pathing around. Now the ones at the bottom there on the right hand side, they'll just eventually peter out to the cannon and the archer over there. But there's just too much DPS and stuff coming around from the top. Now obviously that bomb and of course the spring traps, there go the extra bowlers that you had. But that golem is key also. It's just tanking on that archer tower, enabling this to be a 3-star. So those bowlers and witches and the queen can come through. But again, you know, look, the queen hadn't used the special ability yet, so there was always that good chance it was going to be a 3-star, even if the golem wasn't there tanking, even with the double bomb going off. So that's the first attack. Now we're going to have a look at another base and another Bowitch attack, 3-star Town Hall 10. Alright, now when you have a look at this base, you can see again that you can think, how can I get to the Inferno Towers with 2 jump spells? No wall breakers in this one. So there's a few ways. You're going to be placing a jump spell here and here. That's an interesting jump spell. You're going to place one here and here, or you'll come in from this side and place them in this fashion. That'll give you access, because if you go through, it's like path there, troops are in here, taking out all of this with their double bounce as bowlers do, taking all that out with the double bounce, and then coming in and also getting the expo. And then that leaves these flanking things to be taken out by your flanking bowlers and witches. That's the whole point. So again, just remove all that off, getting into the Inferno Towers with a double jump spell. So pathing through while your troops flank the outside and the bowlers do the double damage, taking out all of this stuff with their double bounce damage. So that's the basic principle involved. So let's have a look at how that goes in action on this one again. Okay, so the bowlers and witches coming in at the top, bowlers and witches at the top on that side, just starting to path through nicely, and funneling being created. Bowlers, the mortar's going to go down, so that golem will then have to path, reroute once the jump spell goes down. There we go. So the golem is now bashing the wall, so now the golem is finally moving in. So we've got the rage spell down, preempted poison spell for the clan castle, double poison, probably could boon spread a little bit, but it's not too much of an issue. And now the troops are just slowly pathing through the area. The ones at the top, they're doing nicely. They will slowly eventually get taken out because there's nothing up there to distract them. The ones at the bottom, obviously the flanking ones are gone. So again, they didn't get all the base entirely. So now you're going to have to rely on the middle troops coming out. So in this sense, there is a slight little bit of luck involved in terms of what's going on. So have a look at that golem up there that's stuck in the middle. At the moment, that golem is just targeting that archer. Now, if that golem can live long enough, then the archer tower will stay up. But the golem didn't. It just popped, which gave the archer tower just enough time to say, I'm going to redirect and I'm going to come onto these witches down here. And eventually take out the witches, because the skellies are going away from me and they'll be out of range, which means I can then target the witches which are closer, and that's what you see happening. Meanwhile, the queen and the king have busted out through the wall, and now they'll just gradually move around. I'll just speed that up a little bit. So they will gradually start to move around the base, and game over for the base, right? The queen, again, has not even used a special ability yet. Level 40 heroes, so that plays a part. Like I was saying, the queens can live longer, they can do more damage, which means they can get through things faster. The king decided to break walls. So let's have a look at that again. Now this one is a little bit longer than the first attack. However, it's okay. It can be longer. It's still under 3 minutes. So just pay attention on this one. So you know how the dive through the middle of the base is going to go. So now it's just an interesting matter of just to see why the flanking weapons, the flanking stuff on the left got wiped out so quickly. So the witches are coming in there on the left. Now the bowlers don't have any protection way down there because the witches are too busy up near where that mortar was. And so the bowlers are going to get wiped out where that left-hand mortar is now, which goes flying. So it's really not as optimal as it could be in terms of being able to take out weapons on that side. But they still did a pretty good job. We're still at over 50% of the base destroyed now, with 1:40 left to go in the attack. So the bowlers up on the right hand side, up the top there, they're not doing too bad. Just lost a witch to a spring trap as well. No spring traps in the middle. So those witches and the skellies, they'll eventually start to get things out. Now, the golems in the middle, I'll just speed that up again because it does go on for a while. It's now a minute left from here. So you can see that the golems in the middle, just the archer that was taking that out, rediverted and will just overcome the witches as it does here. So very close to going out. So the witch probably only needed a little bit longer and it would have gone out, would have taken that archer tower. Of course, it wasn't a maxed archer tower, but I'm pretty sure you can agree that with a level 40 queen that hadn't used the ability, the archer tower was going to go down anyway, even though it was not a maxed archer tower. So that is the basics. You can do Bowitch on a lot of bases, but in terms of which base that layouts have a higher probability of being able to be 3-starred by Bowitch, it's the bases that you can have the double jump access to get through to the Infernos, just like you've seen on these two attacks. So, okay, question of the day. Seeing as we're looking at Town Hall 10 and we're looking at Infernos and Infernos burn things, so the question of the day is, what do you call a doll on fire? What do you call a doll on fire? You call it a barbecue. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you found this useful if you're a Town Hall 10. I'm not a Town Hall 10, but I found those two attacks really insightful about taking out Town Hall 10s. Anyway, please leave the video a thumb up. Let me know what you thought of the attacks or any questions you might have about the attacks. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video.